Hey guys, how's it going? Happy Sunday. Yeah, is it Sunday night again already? Didn't we just have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I've gotten a lot done though this weekend for my house and everything, but oh, it bums me out that it's already Sunday night. I want a weekend now. Hey Shayna. Hey Mina. Hey Liz. See who else? Joanne, Angela. Hey guys. See who else is here. I think I got everybody. Yeah, tonight's just a quiet night. Just gonna work together, chat with you girls, guys. If anybody comes on for guys, but yeah, just trying to get some stuff done. It's like I keep saying every week I'm gonna work on stuff for the shop, and another week goes by, and yep, just the regulars, and that's good, Angela. I'm all cool with that. Love it. Love it, love it. I mean, everybody's busy. I know that. And then with summer coming on too, Sunday nights can be good for some and bad for others. There just is no good timing for anything anymore. So we just pick a time and go with it, and hopefully people can make it. So, what are you guys working on tonight? Anything, or are you just hanging out with me, or what are you doing here? Hey, Joanna. I'm finally just going to do some sewing. I know it was funny because Mia, who was a couple of weeks ago, Mia's mom was like, is that girl even getting anything done? She's just talking. So I finally left some stuff that I can do and talk at the same time. Hey, Anna. That's all right. And I was just saying, Sunday nights are good and bad. So it just depends. Hey, Yvette. Hey, Diane. Hey, Sierra. So yeah, I just hope everybody can hang out, if nothing else, for a couple seconds. I love it. I love it. But yeah, I'm just working tonight, guys. Open forum tonight. If you have questions, bring them on. If you just want to chat, awesome. But I'm just gonna start working on some stuff that's been cut out for feels like years. I know it hasn't been years, but it feels like it. I've had it cut out for a few weeks. Oh, cool, Angela. Yeah. No, I've heard of those. I definitely have heard of those. You put them on for the heat, and back home, we put them on when it's too cold. And then that way your hands, we make ours out of sheepskin. So they're real soft and plush. So that way you're not touching a super cold steering wheel, or you can take your gloves off and actually hang on to the steering wheel without your gloves sliding everywhere. So either or. Yes, if you're just coming in, please hit the like button, guys. And if you didn't notice, I hit 400 subscribers today. So yeah, hey Sarah, you're not late. We just got started. It's just a hangout night, Sarah. But yeah, guys, I couldn't believe it. I looked at my thing this morning and it was like, hey Mary, it was like 402 or something. And I was like, what? When did that happen? So yeah, now the sad thing is everybody else hits the subscribers and they have watch hours to go. I'm like at about 3,000 watch hours and I'm only at 400 subscribers. So I think I'm going to hit my watch hours and still be waiting for the people to come in the door. So it's no big deal, but it's just kind of funny. Yeah, Joanna, that's kind of what we're all about here. Let's all just kind of work together so nobody feels lonely. Heaven knows I get there real easily. Yeah, I was out on the deck staining everything. Happy Sunday, Marissa. Staining last night, and usually I'm not happy with my Airbnb being next door and that there's people there every weekend that I do not know. So I have strangers every weekend, and I just feel like I don't want to go outside and do anything to my house or whatever because I've got strangers next door and you just don't know these people. But yesterday I was just like, last whole weekend basically, I was like, my other neighbor's out working on his house. So I'm just going to go do this. And it was so weird. They were playing cards on the deck and actually being very, very quiet. And then my neighbor next door, he's an older guy who used to be a welder, and he's trying to put scaffolding up with this other older guy. And they can't, neither one of them can hear. So poor guys, they're basically yelling at each other. What do you need? I need that moved over. Another half an inch. No, back to the. And it was actually very enjoyable. So I sat outside, staining my deck, listening to these guys play pitch, and these guys scream at each other because nobody can hear. It was so funny. Thanks, guys. Oh, Mary, yes. I know, Mary, those 40 questions were kind of fun, weren't they? Yeah, some of them were kind of and then others you're like, wow, this is a good one. So yeah. Oh, 403 now. Great. Oh my gosh. So awesome. Yeah, for those of you coming in late, I just hit 400 this weekend. So I'm going to be at watch hours real soon. I'm just not going to be at subscribers very soon. So anyway, but yeah, it was just hilarious. And these guys, finally, they were like, yeah, moving it over one more time will be good. I'm coming down. Let's go get drinks. And I'm like, well, okay, it is 8 o'clock on Saturday night. You guys have been basically trying not to die over there all weekend. So, all right. Oh, how cute, Mary. Down. Did you tape that or was that live? Either way, I need to go watch that, Mary. Yeah, those 40 questions, sorry. Those 40 questions could go around for quite a while if people really took the time to send it out and then bring it back, and we could end up doing them again and just see if anybody's changed over the course of, 6 months or a year, Hey, Linda. Yeah. Yeah, it seems like you hit one or the other first, Mary, and then the other one seems like everybody had slow going. Everybody had to jump in and try and help everybody out to get the other one up to where they had to be. Okay, Mary, I will go watch that then. I was running around. I have a meeting every Wednesday. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. Every Sunday from 3 to 5. Those of you that know me, but others that don't know me, I'm also a knitter. And I used to be in the knitting store here local, and I dye wool and fiber and yarn. And that is my other Etsy shop. And so we used to meet on Sunday afternoons at the shop, and you'd either just knit or just drop in and talk or whatever. Well, now the shop had to close, and it wasn't because of COVID, but she used COVID for the reason. Knitting stores or yarn stores are really, really hard to make a go at. They make like next to no money because their profit margin is so little. And then that's obviously the first thing to go when you don't have money to spend is your extracurricular stuff. So she limped it along for quite a while. She made the 7th anniversary, but really shouldn't have probably been open past 6, maybe even 5. But anyway, so she used COVID as the excuse to close. And she was ready anyway. She'd already retired, and she retired early in life and then wanted to do this, just have something to do during the day. And, she saw a need for it. But anyway, so that's from 3 to 5. Then I've got from 5 to 6:30 to just kind of chill and do whatever. So yeah, my Sunday afternoons just kind of go. So I missed yours, Mary, and I was trying to get the dog out because she's not down here tonight. So I took her out real quick and trying to make something to eat and, making sure everybody upstairs had what they needed before I came back down. Aw, thanks, Mina. Thank you. Thank you. Yay, Mary. That's a milestone for sure. It seems like every 100 you get, I think it kind of ramps up your momentum a little bit from what I've seen on YouTube. I know there's probably other factors too. It's not just that, but it kind of just seems like sometimes it's that simple. Yeah, Shayna, soon 500 and then 1,000 around the corner. That's, and I'm not sitting there waiting with bated breath and checking my YouTube all the time. It was just kind of one of those, I just looked to look at something else and noticed it and went, oh, no, We might make it there sometime this year. That's awesome. Hey, Mia. All right, so girls, I'm just going to work on some more of these. I'm doing a whole bunch of these, using up my scraps that I've got. So these little guys that we did a couple sew-alongs ago. These are the bibs, the bandana bibs. And I thought, well, those will be easy to make and use my scrap fabric from. And that way when it's gone, it's gone. And I don't have to worry about, oh, well, if I put something up and then I've only got enough to make one or two, what's the point? So that's what I'm using all my scrap fabric for. And then I'm going to be making some more of the hair bows. I've already got those partially cut out. Well, partially cut out. They are cut out. Partially sewn. I just got to iron them and then sew the backs and put all that together. So I got plenty to do. Hey, Stacy. Hey, Barbara. So I got plenty to do tonight. So guys, pull up a chair or pull up your project or your coffee or your wine or whatever you're doing. Let's just kind of hang out for Sunday night. Some of you might just be chilling and those others might be working, and let's just have fun. Yes, please hit the like button, guys. Please hit the like button. Definitely helps. And I swear, I laid my scissors down somewhere. It was probably last night. And I haven't moved anything. And I can't find them. Welcome to my world, and I know a bunch of you others' world too. So you're going to see me walking off camera every now and then because I'm going to be like, I didn't check there. And they're my favorite scissors. You know, those orange ones I show you guys all the time. And I need to go buy about 3 more pair. Oh, there they are. Hello. I actually put them where they belong, on the shelf. Last place I didn't even think to look at was where they're supposed to be. I know, Mia, me and these scissors. Some people wear them around their neck, but I'm not that brave because I'll hurt myself. So besides, it's just not a fashion statement I kind of like. So anyway, but yeah, me and the scissors. You already know me too well, Mia. But I do have both of them. These suck for just cutting threads when you're trying to cut threads off. These are those applique scissors. These suck for that, but they're great for applique. They're great for fabric. It's not for threads. Makes no sense, but okay. But yeah. Oh, nice, Barbara. Yeah, you guys are having finally getting spring, aren't you? I don't miss that. You know, it's just so weird. We always had this. I'm from Nebraska, for those of you that don't know. So I live in Texas now, but I was born and raised in Nebraska and moved down here about 10 years ago. So we always used to say you were safe after April 15th to plant because you shouldn't have a freeze anymore. Not this year. I think the saying went to May 15th, which is more like Minnesota and North Dakota and all that, where they feel safe. And we already had pretty bad freeze and all that. So I was like, really weird year this year. Of course, it froze and snowed and iced down here, which it never does. So whatever. Yeah, see, Mia, I usually put them on the shelf where they were. I don't remember doing that. I thought I left them laying right there by my table, but I usually don't leave things laying because Bear likes to get up and play air hockey with everything that's up here that's not nailed down. He doesn't hang out up here, but he always checks out. He'll get up here, walk across to see if there's anything he can play air hockey with. And so I've learned that if I don't put things away, I'm not going to find them. So they're going to be who knows where. And then I'm really afraid if he plays air hockey with these, he's going to hurt himself. So I always try and make sure anything that's lighter than a brick gets put away. Hey, Ediani. Hey, girl, I've been meaning to text you. I've been off the planet. So sorry. I haven't forgotten about you. I want to just catch up. Miss you, and I haven't had that chance, and I know you're busy with your new job and everything. I just want to catch up with you and see what's going on. Yeah, everybody had a late freeze, Diane. It was just nuts. Nuts. So yeah, it's just one of those years. And I actually want to plant, I have to plant in like buckets or planters here because our rock is just everywhere and you can't plant in the ground. Plus on top of it, we have so many deer. You just be feeding the deer. So I need to plant in planters or something and put it upstairs on my deck upstairs because I got a deck down here too, but it gets so hot down here, so this one's not covered, that it just fries everything. So I have to move it upstairs, but I can't remember to even stop and do that. Every year I think about it, and every year it's like July, and I'm like, oh, well, okay, no tomato plants this year again. Hello. So I thought about it finally this weekend, and I need to go do that. And I think it's just because I'm finally getting around to doing some of the house stuff I've been needing to do forever and a day. How's your job going, Ediani? Yeah, I know. I figured you were busy and busy in a lot of ways. Hey, everybody, hit the like button as you come in. If not, quick like close out the chat and come back. And you know, the Angela thing, how she always says that. Close out the chat, go hit the like button, and then come back and talk. Oops, okay, I'll be fixing that. Hey, Shirley. All right, let me fix this real quick. Ah, oh, and why I did it now. I see why. No, I did not. Thank you, Shirley. It was kind of funny because my girlfriend that used to own the store that I was telling you about earlier, and I went shopping. We've got some really cute little boutiques here, and it's in a little special area that's very well known if you come to this area. It's kind of touristy, but yet not like overpriced for touristy. But they always have some really good sales. And so her and I went shopping at one of them that we just love, and I found it there. And I keep forgetting I've got it. And it's really cute. I mean, it's got like a skirt. So it's really kind of like a dress, if I felt daring enough, because it's just thin enough down in this area that you'd see right through it. So I don't wear it as a dress. I always put like jeans or leggings underneath. But yeah, it's got like this little flounce underneath, and I keep forgetting I've got it. And she said it today. She goes, oh, that's a cute top. And I was like, you were with me when we bought it, but yeah, you forgot I had it too. Oh no, Ediani. Oh boy, that's not the call you want to get. That's for sure. Yeah, I was gonna say you're sleeping for more reasons than that. I just wasn't saying because I didn't know if you'd announced it yet. So I was letting you use the word. When's your due date? I haven't had a chance to catch up with you. I've got an idea. I just want to know if I'm on, if I've got the right date or not. Yeah, Mary, you had quite the fiasco there with your whole family. I'll be right back. I just gotta grab my remote. My mini split, those of you that have the mini split may not realize, but if you have a remote with your mini split, you've got to have the remote away from the mini split because the temperature follows the remote. So if the remote is under the mini split and it's over there and you're over here, it's measuring your temperature over there. And so it's going to think that it's really nice and warm or cool when it's not over here. So just a little tidbit. And I realized, oh, I left that over there because it's getting warm in here. And the sun's just starting to hit right at the point too where it's going to start getting warm in here. So I'm like, okay, we need to take care of that problem. Oh, cool. Okay, I was close. I was thinking 1st of December. So, all right. No kidding. Yeah, that's just it. You're, even if it was paid, you haven't been there long enough probably to have it paid. Lots of December birthdays. Wow, that's amazing. I am so hooked on the new coffees that I got. You know, I'm hooked on the Bones coffee, and I ordered some new flavors. And I was really kind of bummed because I was like, they're okay, hot. And then I didn't even think about it, but I'd be switching over to the cold more than the hot now that it's starting to warm up over here. Oh my gosh. All the flavors I ordered for hot that I wasn't happy with, I adore cold. They are like my favorite. They are so, so good. And it's not that they were bad hot. It was just, I guess I wasn't getting the wow I thought I was going to get. But the minute they got cold, whew, I can't get enough of them. PTO, yeah. Yeah, that's it. You haven't been there long enough to even probably have any of that built up. That really, that's a bummer. Turn everything over to that. Oh, thought I'd said that already. So Sierra, you were talking yesterday about the jelly roll, and I had a total brain fart. I don't think I saw you on there, and it's not a big deal. I don't. That's not what I'm mentioning this for. But as soon as you said that, I came downstairs and I was like, I have a jelly roll, but it ain't in a roll anymore because it exploded when I was moving. You know how they come tied up, and it totally exploded. So I went over and I pulled all these little long strips off of the shelf, and I was like, well, there we go. And then I forgot I had 2 charm packs, actually 3 charm packs over there too. So I was like thinking of you while I was doing a lot of this. And these little gnats. You ever get that one that just, it's like, did you not get the memo? You will die, you know? Oh, thanks, Joanne. It is free. Like it. It is free. I'm just ironing, guys, so keep talking. I'll keep looking back and forth. You start working, Mia. We're still going to be able to chat. You can still chat. Yeah, I know. Look at this. I mean, look at this. I mean, it's total explosion. And it's just everywhere. And I've got to iron every single one of these because they're like a wrinkled mess. It's like they slept and got up. It's so bad. I'm just like, oh, I cannot even begin. That's okay. I'm not worried about that, Sierra. I know you'll catch up with it, but I was just laughing. I was like, the one time I wanted to show you, hey, I got this. Actually, I do have some pieces that kind of survived a little bit. It's amazing how much is in one of those. And then it kind of, I started looking at this going, okay, no, you can't go shopping. It's kind of one of those things where I'm like, those are so cool. I need to go get some more of those. Oh no, Mia. Have you checked Walmart? Because our Walmart here is actually pretty well stocked. So just saying. I don't know if And you probably have, but hey, Lakeisha, that's all right. We're just hanging out tonight. Everybody's just kind of doing whatever they got to do. I'm trying to iron here, so hey, Victoria. Oh, yeah, well, we'll distract you. There is several, I think, out there. I don't know if anybody's personally on here got one, Sierra, but I know that there is, I've seen some, and I've not watched them, so I don't know if they're any good. Okay. All right, Mia, I was just thinking, I was there the other day, and yeah, I did pick up a little bit, but I've got a plan for mine, and it's not a tutu. So I didn't have to get a whole lot. I think I just got a couple yards of each. But I don't know if you guys have seen this one. Yeah, I got this at Walmart, believe it or not. Check out this holographic one. This one's kind of a white, and then this one's a blue. They actually have like a purple, and you can't see it on the camera, but they kind of have a purple one, a purple like reflection to it. They are so pretty, and it's one of those when you get further back, you can really see the purple on it. Yeah, it is. It's so pretty. I didn't even know that they had this kind of stuff at Walmart. I thought it was just the plain, and I was fine with that. I just wanted to go get a couple of the plain ones because I'm trying to do something. And I saw these and I went, oh yeah, those are going home. Even if I don't end up doing what I was going to do, these are going home with me. I'm not going to say right now, Teacher Victoria. I've got 2 things I'm trying to do to add to my shop, and I want to make sure they work first. And then once I know they're working, I will show you guys. So what is the name? I don't know. I got these at Walmart. So I'm sure some Walmarts will have them and some won't. And I don't know if there was a name for them, but it's over in where you buy the tool. And it's just right in there with all the tool, because they actually had, some of that glitter tool that you guys say gets everywhere. Well, that was there. And it didn't look like it was too bad, that glitter that they had, because I touched it and it didn't get on me. So it must be a different kind than what you guys were using, but it was right over there. And then I picked up, just some regular white, pink, blue. Yeah, no, that's next. These have been cut out for a while. I'm like, I have got to get these on my shop. Oh, thanks, Mary. No, it should turn out okay, Mary. The fact that mine were cotton though made them a little crisper, I guess. There is a difference between, cotton and knit, as you know, and photographing cotton versus knit. There is a difference as well. So what are they called? Are you talking about, Shirley, are you talking about the tool, or are you talking about these little bandanas? I do, Ediani. I actually, my other car was a Volvo, and I knew I would always stay in the Volvo family. Honey, you've got to get a Volvo, especially with your kids. They are the safest cars out there, and I'm going to tell you too, they're really good on insurance because of that. They've got all the airbags and everything, and they've always been known for their safety, but they drive like a dream as well, and they're really good on insurance. And they're not, when you go to repair them, they're not like you're repairing a foreign car, like if you were going to take like a Mercedes or a BMW or something, it's way more expensive to get everything done to it. They're not. They're the same as like all the other regular US cars that we buy, the Chevys, the Fords, all that. You have to check them out. Don't go buy new. Buy factory certified or Volvo certified, and you'll get unlimited miles and the rest of the warranty. So mine's got 2 years with unlimited miles warranty, and it didn't change my insurance. My insurance stayed the same, and I went up 11 years. And I went from a car to an SUV. My insurance has not changed. I was shocked. I thought for sure it'd go up a little bit, and it didn't at all. At least it hasn't yet. And I've had two payments come out for my insurance because I pay monthly. So girl, go check it out. There's always good deals to be had on them, and they are reliable. So just saying, with you and kiddos. But yeah, we can talk about that too if you want to talk offline. It's crazy nuts. And if you buy used, they're no more expensive to buy a used Volvo than it is to buy another used SUV of some kind year for year. They lose all of their dollars when you drive them off the lot brand new like everybody else does, but they come out, they're brand new. They're so much more expensive than others, but yet within like a year or two, they're about the same price. So if you go buy one that's a couple years old, you're paying the same for the SUV as you would pay for one that's, like that size of another brand. It's the exact same dollars. So I'm just saying, it's crazy. People get all wrapped up thinking they're super expensive, and they're really not. Do I have a good one, Shirley? I've got 2 single needles right now. And what you're holding in your hand. Let me go back to your other comment first. I skipped down. I'm sorry. I'm horrible. Okay, so this was one of the sew alongs, Shirley. So if you go back a couple of sew alongs, this is the bandana bibs, and I also call them a drool bib. So let me grab the finished ones here. So we did these a couple of weeks ago, and they have a snap, and then the other side is just minky or fleece or flannel or whatever you want to do. You can even just do another fabric. And so they're like that. So I'm just making up a whole bunch of them to put in the shop just to use up my scraps that I've got, because I've got scraps of minky, I've got scraps of cotton, I've got all kinds of stuff. And this one got screwed up, even though it didn't. And everybody else has been on here kind of knows the story. These dinosaurs go every direction. So I'll talk about that in the video if you go watch that. It's the way the fabric is, and I cut it so it looked like it's upside down, but it's really not. But since the dinosaurs are here, I'm not going to sell it because it looks upside down and it looks wrong. Now let's see. Okay, so I have 2 single needles. I have a newer one that's a brother. It's a little higher end. Let me show you real quick. So that's the brother. I don't know how people do this. I can't do this. That's the brother. And I bought that last year at the beginning of COVID, and it's not made anymore, but it's the Quattro 2 6700D. And then that's my Janome. Now and that one I've had, there it is. I've had that one for probably 20 years. They sew beautifully. They both sew beautifully. They're both sewing embroidery combo machines. Love them. I love my Janomes though. I am a Janome freak. I've had so many people that had never had a Janome buy a Janome, and they love them too. They're very good machines, very solid machines. They just glide. So just saying, brother makes nice ones too. I just happened to get that brother at a heck of a deal. Heck of a deal. And I couldn't say no. And my Janome was, it's kind of funny. My Janome was acting up because the computer chip in it, 20 years old, it's going to start having its time. And by the time when that dies, it's probably not worth replacing it. So it was like not wanting to turn on real reliably. It would think about it for a while, and it kind of seemed like it was trying to take the leap. And I'm like, oh, I can't be without a machine. So that's when that one happened, because that's kind of a backup, and I fell into that deal. As soon as I got that home, that Janome quit doing that. And it had been doing that for like a year and a half. And it literally has not done it once since I brought that brother in. And I was like, well, really? Didn't know machines had feelings. So those are good. Ediani has a Viking, Husqvarna Viking, and she loves it. And she's on this chat. So hers is a combo as well. They are good machines. FAF is always good. I've got a FAF upstairs, but it's just a straight sewing machine. It's not a combo. Trying to think. Baby Lock's always good. I'm not a fan of Singer. Just gonna put it out there. Sorry, girls that have one. I'm just not a fan. Trying to think. Elna. If you see Elna's, those are good. Those are made by Janome. It's a brand you probably haven't heard of, but they are made by Janome. And surely most name brand companies make more than one brand. So Brother and Baby Lock are owned by two brothers. Janome and Elna are together. There's a bunch more. Melco has SWF, I believe. And also another one, I can't think of who, but the girls on here can also, my brain is just kind of dead right now. And you can get just an embroidery. I will eventually get just an embroidery machine. It will be a multi-needle. It's not high on my priority list at the moment because I don't do a high level of embroidery yet. So my singles do just great, but there will come a day. Yes, I have done pop-up shops. I've done a lot of that stuff, Sierra. They're just like a, Ediani just got done with one not too long ago. They're like a craft show, but not. You really have to have your setup well planned. That's all I'm going to say. You don't just decide you're going to do a pop-up and then show up in 3 days. You have to really make sure your presentation is well thought out. And that's not scary. You just have to actually do it. So what a lot of people do is they will figure out their presentation and then they'll do like a mock setup at home. And then that's when you adjust things, or you realize, oh, this ain't working, that ain't working, or, oh, I want this there now that I see everything's put together. I want to put, you know, my logo here, not there. You want to make sure you have a banner, you know, you got to make sure you can take credit cards, little things like that. But yeah, pop-up shops can be very profitable. Once you've got your setup, you can go do pop-up shops, craft shows, whatever, all day long. I've even toyed with trying to get in with like a coffee shop or something like that, where I do a pop-up once a month or every other week, just there for a couple of hours on their busy morning, whether it be like a Saturday morning or a Saturday night or whenever their busy time was. So you have a lot of options once you've already gone through things like that. Hey, Anna. Hey, Christina. So you got to nail the presentation or you will sell zero. I'm just going to tell you that. You will put money out and wonder why you didn't sell. Because when you go shopping at things like that, you walk by the booths that look like everything's just kind of, they're just laying there. It doesn't invite you to come look. Where the person who has that wow presentation, they could be selling you something you own 10 of and need no more, and you will buy another one because the presentation is so good that it makes you want to buy. It's just like, you know, as you go check out at the grocery stores and they've got all the stuff right there. That's all their high dollar markup. It might only be 50 cents, but they're probably making 49. So that's why that's there. So you know, the presentation, the location, the whole thing, it's not hard. So don't let it intimidate you. There's a lot of info out on the web that you can go Google for shop setups and samples of shop setups and pictures and stuff. There's a ton of information. So don't let it overwhelm you. Just go and look and see what you like and just start going from there. So you'll do fine, Sarah. Don't miss that opportunity if you've got a chance. Hey, Sandra. Oh, that's okay, Sarah. No biggie. No, we're just chatting a little bit. Just chatting a little bit. Now, I like the old Singers, Barbara. I like the all metal Singer machines. Love those. But that's when they quit doing that, not a fan after that. So yeah. Yes, Ediani, absolutely. You got to make sure location is key too. You got to also make sure that if you're doing it with, like, say, like they're doing like a farmer's market or something, make sure that there's going to be a good crowd drawn too. You got to make sure it's not just something stuck way back in the middle of nowhere and then they're hoping and praying by throwing out a couple of flyers, people show up. So yeah, Mary, it's you just kind of have to decide if it's worth your time or not. But the first couple of times you go do it, you may or may not make money. Don't let the first couple of times gauge whether you're going to do it or not. Again, a lot of times those are just learning experiences and you get to see what everybody else is doing. Excuse me, maybe for some reason you did choose the wrong show. That could be all it is too. So factor all that in. I've had times where I've done really, really, really well and gone back to the same ones year after year after year for 10, 15 years. Some years I do really good, and other years I'm lucky if I make my booth rent. So it just really depends on a lot of things. You know, did they pick the right weekend? Is there other things going on? For some reason, now we have to pay attention to, well, do people have jobs? You know, that never used to have to be a consideration. But COVID showed us that the people, well, and it, you know, this is always true. It's not just COVID. The people that have money will always have money. So even though you're hearing, oh, nobody has money, nobody has money, nobody has money, don't do it, blah, blah, blah. There's people that have money. So you don't listen to that. It's just making sure that they get people there. That's the biggest thing. Are they going to get a crowd there? Well, I see my newest little member of my colony likes my freshly stained deck. He's one of the three, and he just showed up like about 3-4 weeks ago because I keep TNRing all the boys. And those of you that know anything about TNRing, the minute you take away the intact males, a new one will show up. Now, he's my new one because I keep taking away all my intact males. And I looked at him when he showed up and I'm like, you didn't get the memo, did you? You show up and you'll leave here lighter. So yeah, he's hanging out back and he better mind his little manners. Not try and leave a business card. Yeah, it just, yeah. Christina, the Singer heavy duties are, it's not something I'd recommend, but when you don't know much about machines and you have to just rely on what you find and see, it's hard. It's really, really hard. So if anybody's looking at a machine and you have questions, please message me. Lauren, I don't think she's on here yet, but she had some questions and I steered her from one machine to a choice of 2 others, and one of them was a Janome, and she chose the Janome. Hey, Yamira. I didn't try and steer her towards, you know, I would choose this one over that one. I just kind of said, well, I would go with one of these 2, and showed her, and she chose the Janome, and she loves it. She's still just loving it, and she probably paid exactly the same, or maybe $10 or $20 more than she would have for a Singer heavy duty. So I'm just saying, if anybody has questions, please message me. Yeah, those are big space takers, Christina. Absolutely. Yep. You've got to definitely have the space, because I'm toying with Amber, and I talked about her reliable before she bought it. And I was looking at it and I told her, I said, get it. I would buy that machine in a heartbeat, because she was thinking, oh, it's good, but I just want to make sure. because she'd never bought an industrial before, and I bought an industrial, and I looked at that and I was like, oh man, I need that machine because it's got zigzag, and the price for that, ooh, that was good. That was really good for a combo straight zigzag, and I mean that's everyday price. So the reliable can be a little more expensive just because they are one of those name brands in the industrial world that makes a lot of the other brands that you've never heard of. So to pay for their name, then you pay a little more. But I was like, wow, that's a solid price all day long. That's never gonna go lower than that. So yeah, she's loving it, and I keep looking at it going, that would be really nice to have. I just don't know where I'd put it because I already got one industrial taking up all the space over there where the industrial would have to go. I think I know where I could put it, but I've just gotta, I don't know, I'm still on the fence as to whether I'm gonna let myself buy that or not. Not that I wouldn't use the heck out of it, because I know I would. Oh, that's really good, Sierra. The booth is 35. That's really, really, really good. That's wow. That's amazing. Yeah, if you can go. Yeah, Barbara, absolutely. To go test them out. Hey, Kelly girl. Thanks. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad you figured that out too. I just don't want to talk bad about them, but they're just not, they're not what they used to be. That's the sad thing. When they went to all plastic parts, they just lost they used to be a really, really, really good brand, and they kind of lost it. So Shirley, you can get me on Instagram. You can message me through Instagram, or you can go over to my Etsy shop. You can send me a message through my Etsy shop. Otherwise, if you want, my email is scandeez@hotmail.com. So lots of ways you can get a hold of me. I don't watch my email as close. That's why I hesitate to give you an email. I get anywhere from 200 to 400 emails a day at my day job. I don't pay attention to my personal emails that well. I'm done. I'm done with emails after all that. So yeah, you're better off sending me a message through even my Facebook page, Instagram, Facebook, Etsy, one of those. I'm more apt to see it because I miss emails. People send me personal emails. I miss them. I mean, I even scroll through thinking I'm catching them and I miss them somehow. So thanks, Shayna. Which one are you looking into, Christina? I'm sorry. Oh, Barbara. There you go. Which one are you looking into? I missed it. Oh, okay. There it is. There it is. Sorry. Yeah. Yep. You want to have, if you can get an industrial machine that does both straight and zigzag, even if it doesn't have a walking foot, you can buy a walking foot, an attached one. They're not as good as if they are a part of the machine, but it doesn't suck. So with an industrial machine, they've got a lot more, like cars, they got a lot more speed under the hood, a lot more power under the hood, depending upon what size of engine you got. Same thing with the industrial machines. Those servo motors will blow your mind on the power that they've got. So the problems that you have with a normal home machine, just trying to take stuff through, you don't have that problem with an industrial machine. If you run into that problem with an industrial machine, you're probably trying to do something that's outside of the limits of the ability of that machine. So that is just so cool. You can sit down and not worry about it. It just goes. And I've even learned how to make mine do some things it's not supposed to do. It's learning. Live in my house. I kind of have ways of coaxing it to happen. Now, is it reliable to do the things outside of its wheelhouse all the time? No, but I've learned once I get it set there and it's doing it, don't move it till I'm done. Because that might be a one-time deal with it. Yeah, it's true, Barbara, but they also switched over from metal to plastic, and that's a lot of it too. And they may have even sold parts of their business, and there's just so many things. But my uncle, and I know some of you know this story, but my uncle used to have a sew and back store, and he used to fix sewing machines. And he even said, and this was a long time ago, when I was itty bitty, he was telling my mom, don't buy a Singer. You buy a Singer, you don't bring it in here, I ain't touching it, because they ain't worth it anymore. And he's like, I will not fix one. I won't look at it. I won't even let it walk in the door. And for my uncle to say that, that's very weird, because my uncle would try and help anybody. He really detested Singer once they did what they did, where they changed up their parts, because that's what he said. He goes, they went plastic. They went completely plastic. He goes, I can't fix them. I can't do anything with them. He goes, if they're broken, they're broken. So I was like, that's good to know. Another good brand that you guys probably have never seen, but if you run across it, and I don't even know if they're still in business or not, is Necchi, Necchi. We had one of those when they were first come out, and my uncle actually carried them, and that was a good machine. That was a really, really good machine. We also had a Riccar, Riccar. Wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. They were brand new as well. We had one of those, and that was kind of a startup. I don't know who owned them. It was a spinoff of some other company. It could have been Singer. It could have been anybody. Oh, what a piece of junk. It was breaking all the time. And we were hard on machines, we as in my mom. And then I learned how to sew. So I was hard on the machines because she was hard on the machines, but she tore that Riccar up within 2 years. It was just nuts. It did not last. Where the Necchi was real good. Yes, those antique Singer, Sierra, those are beautiful. I've looked at some of them that they've refurbished. Oh my goodness, there are some gorgeous ones out there, and I would love to have one of the old ones. They really are collector's pieces. They will always hold their value, and they do so good when they're the full metal ones. Oh my gosh, they are amazing. They do one thing, and they do one thing really well, a straight stitch. Most of those old ones, that's all they did was straight. Yeah. Yep, Mary. Yep. The heavy, heavy, heavy ones. Yeah, that one has a lot of metal in it. Yeah, I wouldn't mind having one of the really old Singers. I really wouldn't. I've looked at some a few times. I've sewn on them. My sister had one that she picked up when she first got out of college because she didn't have any money. And she'd picked it up secondhand somewhere and kind of refinished everything. And my uncle cleaned it up for her. And man, I loved that machine. She let me borrow it for a while when she was super busy. And I had it for probably almost a year. And then she called me. She goes, can I have my machine back? And I'm like, what machine? I don't know what you're talking about. I have no machine here. And I was like, oh, I don't want to give this thing back. It was so nice. But it was one of those, it was portable, but it comes in one of those big bulky boxes, that you clip the lid on, and you go to pick it up and it's like 40, 50 pounds. And when you're like short, like me, you're trying to pick this thing up and you're walking like it was a good machine, but you go to try and put it up on the table and it's like, got to do that kettlebell swing to get it up on the table. Yes, they do put out good sewing books, Barbara. Oh, that's too bad, Mary. Oh, cool, Dawn. Yes, those old ones. You've got one of the old ones. All you got to do is oil it up real good, change the needle, and I think we went through the presser, I can't even think right now, the foot pedal. I think we went through about 2 or 3 of the foot pedals because Mom was so hard on our Singer that we had 2 of them actually. One was my sister's, and then one was my mom's that she'd picked up somewhere a long time ago, and it just kind of sat in the closet, and she'd pull it out when she needed it. And she pulled that out, and I swear every time she pulled it out, she had to put a new a foot pedal on because the wires connecting it into the machine were frayed or coming apart. And I just think that that was their fault, is that plug in into the machine. It just didn't work very well and last. Yeah. Yep, Linda. Yep. You are so right. You're best off putting your money into another brand. Hey, 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 Eve Mar. Welcome, welcome. But you know, ladies, and this is the absolute honest truth. If you're going to be looking for like another sewing machine or an embroidery machine or things like that, wait until everybody starts going back to work, which is where we're at now. So it's probably another, I think it'll be another couple months to maybe 6 months. All the people that bought embroidery machines and sewing machines to be at home during COVID and thought they were going to do all this stuff, and now that they went back to work, are going to start selling their barely used machines because it was either not for them or they now don't have any time, that kind of thing. So keep your eyes on Craigslist, eBay, all that, because that's how I got that one. That one I got on eBay for 25% of what it was brand new. So there's going to be, and I've read this many places too. I already knew it, and then I'm starting to read it where people are predicting this, and it's like, there's going to be a ton of single needle embroidery, multi-needle embroidery, regular sewing machines, because you know how the sewing machines flew off the shelves and nobody could get them. Well, now that they're all done making masks and stuff, they don't need them anymore. And some people bought some really nice machines. Really nice machines. So you guys will be able to pick up some beautiful, expensive machines for next to nothing. So I'm just saying, keep your eyes open. And this will be the time here. And that's another thing I'm kind of waiting on, because it's coming. And I'm hoping to find another deal or two out there. So yeah, you might even find them at garage sales, estate sales. You just don't know. Keep your eyes open. Thrift stores. A lot of these people don't know, like, especially if a family member had it and they either moved away or God forbid they died or something. A lot of people don't know what those are worth, and they will go and just either donate them to a thrift store or something, and you can pick them up for cheap. I got my my spinning wheel at the thrift store. It was one I wanted, but it really wasn't one I needed because it did special things. And it's like, I don't do enough of that to justify it, but I'd really love to have one of those. And I already had 3 other spinning wheels. So mind you, I already had some. This was just a want. It wasn't a need. So I walked into a thrift store long time ago, and I walked by it and didn't even recognize it there at the beginning, because the people that got it in, it was a really old one too. It was probably one of the first ones that they ever made in that style. And so that's one reason why I didn't recognize it. It was still the same shape, but there were some components about it that were just a little bit different. And the people didn't know how it went together. So it was like just kind of, it looked broken. It looked absolutely broken. And I walked over there. Now, mind you, at that time, this specific spinning wheel was worth $600. And I walked over and looked at it, and I started picking it up. And I about squealed when I realized what I was looking at. And I'm like, this isn't broken. They just didn't know how it went together. So I moved it around, and there was one part missing, and I could fix that. It was super easy fix. I'm like, I can take this home. I've got, and it was wood. So it was just a piece of wood. And my dad was a carpenter, so I know how to do all that. And I've got all the tools and stuff. I'm like, I've got the piece of wood at home that I can quick cut and drill some holes and make that work. $15. $15 I paid. They didn't know what they had. They could have made an easy $300 to $400 on that. And I was like, I literally, I squealed when I looked at it. And the guy I was dating at the time comes over, and he was a nice guy, but he was just kind of, shh, you're embarrassing me. And I'm like, you don't know what I just found. Shh. I'm like, ah. So I carried it up and I set it by the register and said, I'm taking that. And the lady goes, oh yeah, we got 50% off on that today. $7.50. I got it for $7.50. $7.50. I walked out the door with it. And when she told me that, it was all I could do not to scream. Really that. I was like, this is a $600 wheel I'm getting for $7.50 because I didn't know you had it marked at 50% off today. I couldn't believe it. And there was a couple of pieces I actually replaced on it. So by the time I replaced a couple of small, like bearings and things like that, I think I spent another $20. I was like, okay, I got a $600 wheel for $28.50. What? So I'm just saying, you got to know what things are worth, and you got to keep your eyes open. And you are going to start finding those machines out there. So it might even be starting to happen right now because people are going back to work. And so, they might just be looking around going, okay, well, I don't need that anymore because, masks are easy to find. Even if I need one, I don't need to make them anymore, or, that kind of thing. So this little thing is just kicking my butt. It keeps wanting to come undone. It won't even let me iron it before it starts coming out. There we go. Yeah, Mary, I'm not kidding. You don't know where you're going to find it. It could very well be at a yard sale. It really could. So just start scanning your papers. Anything that's going to say, yard sale, estate sale, any of those. If you've got local areas where they sell things quite regularly. Yeah, I'm giving you a license to go shopping. I'm telling you girls, go shopping. Yeah, I know everybody's there, Linda, and we can get them now. So it's not as urgent to make them anymore as it was. And that's why all the machines were just flying out the door, 'cause everybody had to make masks. Yeah, Mary, you never know though. You might find the right printer itself too. So just saying. Yeah, Mary. Yeah, I agree with Mia. Don't go too crazy and then say, well, they said that I could. Please don't do that. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you never know, Karen. You never know what you're going to find out there because people bought a lot of stuff when we went into lockdown, whether it was for hobbies or trying to start a business, and you just never know that they may have decided after a couple of times it wasn't what they thought it was going to be, or they didn't enjoy it like they thought they were going to. And so, yeah, deals are out there, or they will be. Just like I kind of predicted at the beginning, I was like, we're going to have a COVID baby boom. Well, we're starting that at my church. I think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And I don't go to a big church either. So mind you, this number may not seem big, but my church is small. I think I've got 5 or 6 ladies that are due to have a baby any day now. And like I said, my church is small. So we're probably going to start doubling the church size here real soon. Yes, Dawn, that's another place. But the problem is on Facebook Marketplace and that they know the worth. You've got to find, hey, Haiti, you've got to find the places where maybe they don't, or, Facebook Marketplace too. They've got a broader audience, and so they can get the dollar. So that's the only thing. I wouldn't spend a whole lot of time on there. I wouldn't discount looking. I would just peruse it real fast. But I think you're going to have a better chance on, eBay, Craigslist, that kind of thing. Local. Yeah, and that's what I was thinking too, Mia. Because when I thought about that baby boom, I was like, "Ooh, I got to get the shop going hard, hard, because we're gonna have a baby boom, and then we got to start selling, girls. We got to start selling." Yeah, I know, Mary, and it's so true. And there's such a difference in those canning supplies. Yeah, I've got my mom's canners, and I wanted to can last year because I hadn't in a long time. And yeah, I need to do that this year. I've got a bunch of pint jars, and I actually started doing something. Hey, Sandy, I did something the other day that it was kind of like almost a, well, duh, why didn't you think about this sooner? So I'm trying to do more juices and things for the greens. And I just, I take a lot of superfoods, but I also want to get the real greens. And it's hard when you're single to get a whole lot of vegetables without them spoiling. So I'm like, why don't you take those pint jars that you've got 2 big boxes of waiting for that canning year that you don't seem to get around to? Make your juices when you bring home everything and freeze them, and then pull a juice out. And then once it gets a little bit, thawed, you just kind of slush it up. And then you've kind of got a really cold, slushy juice. I'm like, why is this all of a sudden a moment where I'm like, duh, why is this light bulb just now going on? So there's just a thought, guys. What am I working on, Sandy? I am finishing up the bandana bibs that I've got all cut out that I just can't seem to quite get myself finished. And then I'm also doing hair bows. So I got a bunch of stuff that's kind of, hey, Sandy, kind of sitting there in limbo stage, and I've got to get it past that. And a lot of this needs good ironing, so I'm trying to iron here too while we're talking. And so when I turn to the side, I'm ironing. You guys are chatting. Oh, good, Linda. Yeah. Yeah, those birth announcements are going to start becoming the thing. Ediani just bought the cutest little, was it an elephant you got from Cindy? It was an elephant. That's what she was telling me. So yeah, Cindy had some cute elephants with announcements on them, or probably whatever you wanted to put on there. Yes, Dawn, exactly. Because when when you're single, or even if your family doesn't eat it real quick, it does. It doesn't last but a day or two. So I'm just like, I'm just going to make it easy. I'm going to sit and do it all. And it only took me like maybe half an hour. And I had probably 10 of them. So I'm like, I'm good now for, a week or two. I just can't believe I just hadn't thought of that sooner. I was like, that was really stupid. At least freezing it, if nothing else, chopping it and freezing it. Hey, Annie, welcome. You got here just in time. We're just chatting it up tonight. Tonight's just kind of a work night. There's no sew along tonight. We're all just chatting away. My craft room is not really in my house. My house is up there and it's below my house. It's completely separate in the sense that I can't get to my house except I have to go outside and up because my house is on pier and beam. And so I built out below. There was already a slab down here that had everything but the walls. It had the electricity, the water's just right there. So all I had to do is put the walls up and make it happen. So yeah, and it's kind of nice that it's separate most of the time, except for like if it's pouring out and you didn't realize it was going to start pouring and you're stuck here because now the part that I'm in wasn't parking anyway because there was already steps to get down. So somebody had already, when they did this, was planning on doing this room, just never completely finished it. So my parking is still under the back part of my house. And this was just sitting here waiting. But man, there'll be times a storm will come in and I won't even realize it's coming in. And then I look out and I'm like, oh, whoops. Now I got to get from here to there without getting drenched, and that ain't going to happen. Yep, mystery. I know. It actually works out really good because tax-wise, I'm right on the brink of what they would allow for square footage without questioning. You can always have up to, I think, like 50% or something if you can prove it. But technically, rule of thumb, I think, is 20 to 25% without them really kind of questioning it. Mine's a separate entrance. So a separate entrance is kind of a game changer. It's like you go right ahead and question it. Come on out. I'll show you. It is separated, completely separated. But yet it's part of my house. And so I'm right at the 25%. Right under or right in there. So I'm right at that break point where they may or may not question it. I'm not worried. Go ahead. Come on out. You'll see. Pull up. No way to get to the house from here. You have to go outside. So, and then it is bright and sunny. I put a ton of windows in here because I'm all about the light. So yeah. Yeah, Annie, this was a long time coming for me. Real long time coming. I'm very I do realize I'm very fortunate. And when I bought, this is my second house that I've owned. When I moved down here, I sold my house back in Nebraska. And that I just had the basement. And not that it was just the basement, but basements back home, as Mary will attest, are not ideal for things that you do every day. I guess I'm trying to figure out how to explain this. Like a business where you want to make sure things are okay. You don't have temperature or humidity changes because basements the humidity tends to be higher. It's real easy to kind of have a basement smell. And that's just a basement. And so your stuff, no matter how hard you try, can kind of have a basement smell when you send it out. So it's just not ideal. And so it wasn't huge either. And so I felt kind of limited, but it was what I had. And I was still very blessed that I had that space and it was a decent size. So when I got down here and bought a house, that was one of my things on my list that it had to be, or I wouldn't buy the house. I had to have a place for my business and craft area that was a good enough size space that I'm not going to feel like I've got to move out of quickly or it's just not going to work or something. And this house just happened. It was just, I was so fortunate when I looked at it. I hadn't even realized when I looked at the realtor listing that this could be that space. And then we started walking and my previous boss was my realtor, and I didn't know that there was already electrical run for the space. And so we were walking out here, and we were both like, "Oh, this could be your studio, you know, the way it's laid out and everything." And then he walked over and looked over the side, and he goes, "Holy cow, they've already got electricity for you." He goes, "This was going to be a space for somebody." He goes, I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, your box is right here. You've got a separate electrical box for this." And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I said, "Sold. Sold. This is it. This is the house." He goes, "I know. If you don't buy it, I'm buying it." It was so funny. Yeah, see, Mary, it's basements just are not ideal. Just not ideal. Yeah, yep, Sandy, you've got a perfect space being up over your garage. That's okay, Sandy. I know. That's okay. It's Sunday night. It happens. Oh, Julia, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, Sarah, I know. And if that's all you've got, that's all you've got. My biggest thing was my basement tended to have basement smell. It just did, no matter what I did. I had a dehumidifier down there, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't send this stuff out and hope and pray it doesn't have a basement smell no matter what I do. So, oh boy, Sarah, you've got a full house then, don't you? Wow. Well, but you know, you make the best out of what you've got. And we've all been there or are still there. You know, I there was times when all I had was the table, and that was it. So I would, when I lived in an apartment, and this was kind of funny. I rented an apartment before I bought my first house, and I was in that apartment for probably 5 years because I was still finishing college and stuff. And I managed to find an apartment and got the garage, which is very hard to do up north because you're usually on a waiting list for a garage when there's an apartment because everybody wants a garage because of the weather. And I managed to get a garage within a couple of months of moving in, which was so weird. And it had electricity. And I used that a lot. I'd put my car in there when the weather was really bad, but I'd leave my car out if the weather was okay. And then I could go out there, and that's when I used to do a lot of wood crafts. And so I had the saws and all that, and I could just plug in and turn my light on, close the garage door, and just work away. It was so nice. I was so happy to have that. I thought I was over the moon having that space. Oh, that's cool, Dawn. Oh, that's amazing. So yeah. Yeah, you can start an apartment share, Shirley. Yeah. I still I probably didn't write off any of my space as much as I do now. I might have wrote off just a little tiny bit, but yeah, you just got to be in the space. Hey, Pia, you got to be in the space that makes you feel good. So if one area of your house is big, but maybe you don't have the lights that make you productive, then maybe that's not the space. And maybe the space is your table because of the location in where you're living and the light factor and just the motivation to do stuff more. So you just got to pick a space. It may not be dependent upon size. It has to also motivate you. Yeah, Karen, and I did the exact opposite. I came from Nebraska. So where are you in Nebraska? Where were you, I should say, in Nebraska? Yeah, it's a whole different life. It really is. It's a whole different life. And I knew that moving away. That's part of the reason why I moved away. Oh, you were in Sydney. Okay, you were way out west then. Yeah, you were practically in Colorado. So yeah, it's way different out in the Panhandle. I was over near Omaha. Yeah, that's the other thing too. Basements can be very, very cold. Mine was very cold, very cold. And I would have to run a space heater when I was down there because heat rises, you know? So I'm like, man, I'm just burning energy being down here. And I would be bundled up like crazy. I'd have sweatshirts and sweats and all kinds of stuff on. And my nose was cold, my hands were cold. And I was like, oh. And then I eventually just give up and go upstairs. And like, why am I? Okay, the basement's just going to end up being my storage at the rate I'm going. And I'm just going to start working upstairs somewhere. And I was trying to find places upstairs to work. You know, mind you, I had a bigger house than I do here, but I also had, I had stuff that I was still trying to cull through because my dad passed when I was a lot younger, and my mom had just passed. And so we were trying to split up all the stuff. So I was putting stuff in like my 2 bedrooms. I had 3 bedrooms, but the 2 bedrooms was kind of storing a lot of that stuff until we could figure out as sisters, you know, yes, I want to keep this, no, I don't, because we were trying to get the house ready to sell, but we still took a couple of years. But I was like, okay, I've got to find some place. I ended up in my living room just because I couldn't empty out those rooms upstairs. There was stuff that I just literally couldn't move. It was so heavy. So yeah, but you know, I loved being at my dining room table because I could look out on the park that was across the street from me. And it was so pretty just to sit at that table and peaceful. And then if it was wintertime and we had snow, we had a hill. I could watch the kids sledding down the hill while I was working. It was so fun. So, so fun. And then my dog would lay in the window and watch everybody walk by or go to the park. And yeah, it was really nice. So I kind of actually ended up liking working at my dining room table rather than in the basement. Yeah, isn't that a good feeling? Yeah, Barbara, such a good feeling. So yeah, my whole point of that was, you know, the dining room table was actually my preferred place because it made me happy to be there. I had tall ceilings like this in that part of my house. That was the only part of my house that had that. So I didn't feel confined, even though I just had the dining room table. But I also had floor space that as I was working on stuff, I could throw it down on the floor if I was trying to look at things. And I got really good at tossing things kind of like right close so I didn't have to get up and I could look at it and see, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I'd do whatever I was looking at on the next piece and then go pick that one up and finish it because I could then move forward with all my other pieces. So, you know, there was a lot of good things about being where I was at. In that sense, it's just right by the front door, though. If somebody came over, I was like, sorry, hi, come on in, just go that way. Yep, we all do make it work. Yes, we do. Yeah. Yeah, Sydney doesn't have much to offer. That's for sure. That's for sure, Karen. Yeah, no, you definitely had to go into Denver. Definitely. Yeah, Sydney is definitely, you are there for a job. That's about all it is. You didn't move there because it seemed like a good place to live. Hey, Sam. Really, Sandy? I guess that's the first I've heard of this. Is this just starting to be talked about, or is this something you guys have been contemplating for a while? Oh, Anna, that's true. I didn't think of that. Oh, your husband worked at Cabela's. Of course he did. Duh. Hello. Of course he did. Yep. There's not much in Sydney, but Cabela's is there. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah, no doubt, Christine. We shouldn't even have to say those things. They should know us well enough to know that's just life with whoever, you know? Okay. Okay, good. Keep us in the loop, Sandy. Oh, awesome, Carolyn. Thanks. Yeah. Carolyn, just so you know, every other Sunday is a sew along. And then the off Sunday is just kind of a hangout and chat, work with me kind of thing. And then I'm starting to do quilt alongs now too. That started yesterday, so you'll see that on my channel as well. Those aren't quite as set in stone yet, but as you watch, if you watch that one, you'll find out what my plans are. So just letting you know. East Coast is looking pretty good, huh? Well, it looks like my new boy minded his manners because it looks like he's left. So I didn't see him get up and leave a business card. I'm really proud of him. I'm just finishing staining up that out there too. Here, Bear. Hey, buddy. He was napping, and I heard him crunching, and now he has to come over and lean on me for a while. He's so funny. Oh, you stand on my foot now too? Okay, cool. You are such a chill boy. Hey, Divya. Oh, no. Oh, okay. Divya, did you, I figured something out on the serging when you have to take it out. It's because I've done this a few times over the last couple of weeks. So let me find one here real quick. And it actually went really easy. Grab your piece that you have to remove that part on. Everything I've got is turned. Shoot. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Everything I've got is turned. Okay. So pretend that this is the serged seam right here. So this is the top. And then obviously, you know, down here is your fabric. Cut like a 1/16 of an inch off the top here. Even with just scissors, pulls right out. And you don't lose anything. I mean, you just barely wisp off the top. So all you're doing is cutting that top loop all the way, however far. And then you just grab the thread and out it comes. Oh, Yamira, there's a story with that. Thank you. Okay. And it's not a long one, so it's real easy. When I was trying to come up with the name, I was like, wow, I want something, you know, because like I was making the leather shoes, and the Robbie's brand was a big deal at that time. And I knew that was going to be my direct competitor. So that is not why I came up with the name I came up with, even though it ended up being the same EEZ at the end. And I did that just because I liked the way theirs looked. I just spelled mine IES or whatever, or EES or whatever like that. But I liked the EEZ. So I started thinking about me. And I'm like, who am I? What am I? I wanted something one word, because all the shops that I was admiring that weren't necessarily kids shops, but there was a lot of just various like bag shops or, you know, whatever they were one word names. And then I started thinking, you know, when I start putting my name on stuff, having just one word makes a lot of sense. And I don't have to try and figure out how I'm going to fit, like my fiber name is Morningside Road Fiber. I would have to shorten that up, and I do once in a while. I call it MRF, but that is really hard to put on a tag to put on something. Well, thankfully, I don't have to do a lot of tags for that have to go on small things. You know, it's mainly yarn and that, so it just goes on a label. So I started thinking and thinking. It took me a while, and all of a sudden it came to one day. I'm like, I'm Scandinavian. I'm almost 100% Scandinavian, and we call ourselves Scandeez. Hence the name. So kind of was another one of those aha moments, you know. But I didn't come at it real fast. It took me a while, a real long while. I ran through a ton of names, and then it just kind of struck me one day, because I really wanted to do that, the one word thing. And that was really stumping me, because I had some real solid reasons why I needed to keep it as one word. So that kind of became almost a stumbling block for the longest time. Yeah, you guys, you never know what you're going to learn on my lives, huh? Yeah, I know. If you go read my about me in on Etsy, man, my Etsy shop's been open for forever and a day, and I used to have the story up there. I think I still do. And it wasn't, obviously I didn't go into the talking about the one word and the Robbie's brand and all that. So that's kind of a behind the scenes thing that you tell people. It's not something that you put out there for the public to know. But yeah, it really is. It was a no-brainer, but man, it took me a long time to get there. But the minute I came up on it, and then I started playing with the spelling, and every time I tried to write it any other way, I just didn't like the way it looked. And then because I didn't want to do it the way that the Robbie's brand did, because I felt like I was copying off of them. And I was like, and I finally just came to the point where I'm like, it's not about that anymore. It's about what looks best written on paper, anywhere. And how's it going to be, memorable? That Z can be a memorable thing where an IES wouldn't be. So I just finally just kind of caved and went, okay. It sucks that it has to be that way, but it really is. That's what it has to be. Yeah, it is. A lot of people have stories. A lot of them do. And then others don't, others it just ends up being, I just really liked that, and there's nothing wrong with that either. Hey, Joanne. Hey. Okay. So no sew along tonight, Joanne. We're just kind of working with me, but I'm finishing up. I'm not finishing up. I'm trying to finish up a lot of these drool bibs and bandana bibs. The one and the same from the sew along a couple weeks ago. And then I've got my hair bows that I'm making as well. So right now I'm trying to iron these, and then I will probably start finishing these up too, because I got to turn these. I got to sew these and then turn these, but I got a lot of ironing I was doing. So it was kind of like perfect time to just chat while I'm ironing. Oh, thanks, Christina. Thanks, Stacy. Yeah, it's fun to hear. you know, if nothing else, the story of how and the process and the procedure it took to get you there. So yeah, I had done a lot of research, and research not necessarily as in the kind that market research that people pay for or whatever. It was more just my observations of looking at things over the years. And I kind of just came to the conclusion, for me, I wanted just one word. And then it also keeps it very easy for me to add other things under that name because it doesn't pigeonhole me. And a lot of you are doing that. You are doing very good. You're putting your names, like Sarah and I were talking earlier today about with her Spoonflower account coming up, does she want to change up her name or not? Well, her name's perfect because Sarah Ann Creations. It doesn't put her into a certain arena only, you know, and that's why Cindy Lou Tutu, that's why she changed hers, because it pigeonholed her. She felt, you know, she couldn't add other things, and I kind of agree. And with the way that she was going, she kind of needed to get more of a broad name for the business so that they could do whatever next, even 5 years down the road that they're not even thinking of right now. So Sarah, like your name, yours is perfect. You can do anything under that because it's a creation. You know, it's your creation. So no matter what you do, it's perfect. You could next 5 years say you decide that you want to go out and start making aprons or, you know, whatever, curtains, anything, those are still fall under that name just perfectly. So it's, if you're going to try and not pigeonhole yourself, just really think about, what can I do with the name I'm thinking about? Is it going to keep me here, or is it going to let me do all of this? So yeah, Anna, but yours is cool. I like yours. I really, really like yours. Oh, Mary Beth. I didn't realize that was you. Oh my gosh. Well, good. I'm glad she's enjoying that. Awesome. Oh my gosh. I'm glad you said something. I didn't put that together. Oh my gosh. Awesome. 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 Did I look on Google? I think I did Google it just to make sure. And the thing is, I run into, every now and then, there is another one or two people that use that name. And I think they're in Europe. Imagine that. And so every now and then when I go to grab a username or something on a platform, once in a while, I'll hit it. And so I either, it usually isn't a platform, it doesn't matter to me. So I'll either not do anything or I'll just completely change the name up if I really need to be on that platform. But for the most part, I've been okay, but I have run into it. Like if you Google, or if you go on Instagram and you put in my name, you'll find other pictures of, and I can't even tell you what it is right now. It's been just long enough. I don't remember, like skateboarding or something like that. It's kind of, that's all I'm remembering. So yeah. You know, Divya, I like your name. I really, really like your name. There's a lot you can do with it so long, but your name tells me it's sewn. So that's the only thing. If you try and do something that's not sewn under that name, it might be confusing just because you spelled it S-E-W. So what you could do if you ever, and I don't think it's anything that may happen, but if say 5-10 years down the road, you decide you want to add something in that's maybe not sewn, you use solitaire and then add something after it. Because in case in point, what I'm going to do is I've always wanted to do a home line. So, you know, quilts and things like that. Just anything home. And I've been thinking of this, I mean, for over 10 years, and I just haven't really officially gone out. I've got all my stuff in a notebook. So I've got all kinds of stuff written down, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to start it here either this year or next. I don't know. It just depends upon timing, but I'm going to call it Scandeez Home. So I'm adding home on the end. So you could do the same thing with your name if it ever comes to a point where you just feel it doesn't quite fit, but yet you don't want to go change it. And so you just add something on the end. So that's all. Otherwise, I love the name. I think the name's really cute. It's really catchy. Yes. Yeah. You've got it, Mary. Yep. And that's what a lot of people are doing is they're keeping it real simple like that. They're using their name and either putting designs or creations or crafts or something on. So yeah, that keeps it real generic for you. Oh, awesome. Angela, congrats. Yeah, Mia, you've got to really watch. That's where you got to Google to see how many other businesses are really close to your name or have your name. So you may come up with this really great name and then you go Google it and find out 5 other people have businesses doing it too. So that may be okay because they may be selling tires and they may be selling plants and whatever. Just make sure they're not doing something you don't want your name associated with. So I think you get what I mean. So just double check a lot of that stuff ahead of time, because if it is something that is not good, because I know some people in my past, I don't remember who they are now, but I do know about 10 years ago when I was heavily involved in the Etsy forums, there was a couple of people that had come up with this really cute name, really, really cute name. And they didn't even go look and they started using it. And all of a sudden, their customers were like, I Googled your name. Did you know XYZ came up? And she's like, no. And she went out and she looked. She's like, oh. And it was bad. It was bad. And there was a couple of people that happened. And so she had to go change her name and she already had her business going and everything. But no, I would have changed my name too. So just really make sure you know what's out there before you settle on a name. That's all I got to say. Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it, Divya. Yeah, you just want to be sure about everything. And that's why I'm telling everybody just really research everything. Get on and Google everything to make sure. And Google misspells. So if you're going to misspell your name, because people will do it, make sure it doesn't take them to a nefarious site, is what I'm going to say. So, yep. Yeah. And that's how you can get away with it. You know, your name is just one like mine. And so we can easily add another at the end or at the beginning to still keep it within that brand. Because if you license that name, you need to do a DBA. If like my Morningside Road Fiber is my licensed name, even though I've had Scandeez longer. I had Scandeez licensed in Nebraska. And then when I moved down here, that license was still going. And so I left it because I still have my house. And so it stayed with that house. And then when I sold the house, I canceled that and I had my Morningside Road Fiber down here. So now I need to do a DBA for my Scandeez and do that under my Morningside Road Fiber. I can open it completely separate, but it's just more bookwork and you don't need to do that because then I'd have 2 sales tax papers and then I'd have to fill out all, you know, every year I'd have to fill out 2 different sales tax filings and it's just do DBAs. And so I know there's a little money. I think it's like $20 or $30 or whatever. So I just need to do it. I haven't done it yet. And then I can run my Scandeez home under that because I'm already DBA to Scandeez because my name Scandeez is in that. And then the home, the way I'm going to put it on the name, it's going to kind of be I've already kind of got it figured out in my head how I'm going to do it. So it's going to be maybe just like a little bit smaller and down below Scandeez and off to the right just a little bit. So it's kind of like a whisper, I guess is what you should say. But you'll still see it so that Scandeez is right there. And you still know it's me. Yeah, Sarah. And that's it. We've all got to figure out how all that plays out. And it just takes time. But then Mia, it also reminds you of your childhood, and that's a story too. So that's a good reason to use it. Mia, that's cute. Yeah, and Mia, maybe you just need to get a fold-up table that gets a lot bigger. They make real sturdy ones nowadays, and you can even get them out of wood or something. So something that you can pull out when you need it and put away when you don't. Yeah, but that's true, Yamira. I do. I agree with Mia. I could see the boys getting jealous. I can't say I blame them. Can't blame her. Yep. Yeah, names are hard to come by. Every now and then somebody will just kind of always know, and oh, it's this. Well, my yarn business has a story behind it as well as to the name, and I've gotten so many people that are kind of like, wow, why did you name it such a long name? And it's more stores that, when they carry my stuff, they're like, that's a long name, man. Can't you just shorten that up a little bit? And I'm like, it has meaning. And there's a lot of meaning behind that one. So I just don't tell them that. I just let them gripe. And I'm like, whatever. It's your personal opinion. I'm sorry. But I get it. It's a pain in the butt to put in the computer. So, and then when they do that, I'm just like, well, just shorten it MRF. And they're like, oh, think about that. But yeah, so when I grew up out in the country in Nebraska. And at that time, everything was a rural route. And so there was just all these houses out there, and you didn't have box numbers. You were just all rural route and then a number. And so that rural route would cover so many miles. And I felt bad for those postal people because I was like, wow, those new people probably have no idea where anybody's at and probably have to draw maps because they don't have box numbers. They have no way of knowing. And the only thing we had out in front of our house was a metal pole that had a reflector on it with 3 numbers, and that was considered our fire number. So if we ever had a fire at our house and had to call it in, we had to give them that number and they knew where we were. Otherwise, it was just rural route. Well, they finally went and gave us box numbers when I was in high school. And so then we were rural route, box, whatever. Well, fast forward about 15 years after, and that was that whole area I grew up in was family land. So my family, my dad's side, had been on that land or in that small little tiny area, which was still all of our land for probably well over 100 years, maybe 150. And so that was like home. That was a big deal to me. And so when I moved away and my relatives started passing, we would sell the land to the farmer down the road who understood and respected and the whole bit. It meant a lot to him to get that property. I mean, he understood what it meant for us to sell. And he had been there he was on family land himself, not quite as long, but he'd inherited it from his dad. And so we felt okay selling to him. And so we knew he wouldn't sell it off and it would stay farmland and everything. So when that sold and then they started building up about a half a mile down, they put in a bypass and highways and everything. So then the road got a name. And I'm sure you can figure out what the name is. It's Morningside Road. I never lived on Morningside Road though, but that was the road I grew up on. That was home. That was heritage for me. Well, I also, as a Scandinavian, we are taught to knit when we're about 4 years old. That's just part of our heritage as well. So the fact that it was going to be, I was dyeing yarn and fiber for that, for knitting and all that. So that was still a part of my heritage. I was like, it only makes sense to name this Morningside Road Fiber. And so that was kind of the, I didn't like that the name was super long, but I didn't choose that name. That was the road. That's what they named it. So I was like, okay, we'll shorten it to MRF for a lot of things, but it works out. It's just, I cuss it every time I have to write out my email though, because I'm like, you know? Oh, Mary, that's true. I never thought of that. Oh, yeah. That's so funny. Oh, thanks, Anna. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, hi. Hi, sweetheart. Don't scare your mama. Oh, my. A big 3-year-old. Oh, okay, I will. This one. This one. And I got it off of Amazon. So, yeah, they're out of Austin. Well, they're out of Cedar Park, Texas, which is Austin. And they're actually, their website is Mandala Crafts Inc. too, if you want to look at that. But I did get it on Amazon. This is 3/4 inch, 50 yards. So yeah, it's a real good price. That's all I got to say. It's a real good price. So yeah, that I will go find that and put that in the description afterwards for you, Mia, if you don't find it yourself before then. And I just ran out of pins. I'm gonna have to sew a little bit. I was hoping I could keep ironing. Yeah, but if you buy it in the bigger bulk, Mia, if you can afford to do that, I think it actually worked out to be either the same or just a touch more. Mary Beth, that's cute. I grew up sort of on a farm. You can stretch it. You can stretch it. My dad grew up on a farm, which would have been my grandfather's farm. I was a late in life child, so all of my grandparents, it sound like I got 50 of them. Both sets of my grandparents were already retired for quite a while by the time I came along. So I never knew them as farmers. Either side, because both sets of grandparents were farmers. And then my dad's side, and I never knew this either. It's only stories I've heard, but they had the farm, but they also had a toy store. And I'm like, why? Why did they not have the toy store by the time I came along? So I look at all the pictures of my cousins at Christmas, and they had all these really cool toys. And all this really neat stuff, because there was only 7 of us as grandchildren. And so by the time I came along, I was number 7. The 6 were already past the toy age. They were teenagers. So I see all these pictures. They had all the cool toys, and they'd all get the same stuff, whether it was a girl or boy. They got the same thing. And so I was like, and I come along, and I get a box of candy, you know? And it wasn't about that. It was just, they had all the cool toys, and I missed out. So yeah, anyway, the way that story was going was I kind of grew up on a farm, but kind of didn't, because my dad was like, no, I'm not farming. Not farming. I grew up farming. I don't want to farm. I'm not farming. And he would have had Grandpa's farm if he wanted to, because he was the only boy. And he was like, nope. So I was okay with that. I grew up on part of we called it an acreage just because it wasn't a farm. So Grandpa gave Dad just a little tiny piece of land to build the house on, because my dad built the house himself. He was a carpenter. And so it was, I had literally all the fields. I'd walk out and all the fields were right there. I mean, just right there. And then we had the farm, that had the little acreage right there. So big old garden, it was pretty awesome. Oh, go ahead, Mia. I'm trying not to. I went right before this thinking, if I don't, I'm going to be wishing I had. And that very could be what it was, Mia, for that too. I don't know. I can't remember. It's been probably about 4 months or so since I bought that. I can't remember. Okay. What you doing, baby? You just hanging? Are you just hanging, buddy? Where did my, there it is. Back, half a second. So I grab my measurement thing. I write things down and then I end up putting them off on another spot. Hey, you chatting with me? He's so funny. I'll walk by him and he won't say anything, and I'll walk by again and I get this little, and that's it. And I'm like, what was that? It's kind of like a, hey. Oh, okay, cool. We're in Texas, Jen. That's where I'm at now. Let me look now that you got me curious, Mia. I got to see what I paid for that. Because a lot of times, yeah, if it's just a touch more, I live just far enough away from town that I kind of have to factor in my time and my gas. So I'm about, from my local Joann's to go to Joann's, I'm about probably 20 miles. And Walmart is probably the same. So I factor all that into when I look at a lot of this stuff. And so for me, time and gas get added into that. If I'm already in town, that's one thing. But if I need it and I have to go to town just to get that, my time is worth so much to be able to, because it'd take me, even if I ran in, picked it up and came back, it'd take me an hour. Easy hour. And like, by the time you stop what you're doing, go run and get it, get back, and then get back into what you're doing, you've probably lost an hour and a half. So I factor a lot of that into my choices too on what I buy online. If it ends up being just a touch more, sometimes a couple dollars, I'm like, nope, my time's worth more than that. So here it is. Oh, okay. Mia, when you're back, 25 yards. Let me see. Let me get down to the 1.5 inches because it's 2 inches. Is that 2 inches? This is 1.5 inches. 3/4 inch. Let me see. 3/4 inch, 50 yards. Okay, so 3/4 inch for 50 yards. Looks like right now, do they have white? They might be out of the white, but you can get 3/4 inch, 50 yards of black, which if it doesn't show, it doesn't matter, for $12.99. That's a pretty good deal. And that's, if you have Prime, that's Prime. Yeah, I grew up riding horses at my cousin's farm, which was another story, was my grandparents' farm where my mom grew up and all her sisters. And then my aunt and uncle bought the farm from my grandparents. This is on my mom's side, obviously. I said my mom. And so I grew up going to grandma and grandpa's farm and didn't realize it was their farm because they'd retired long before I was born and sold it to my aunt and uncle, and rode horses and hung out on the family property there and didn't even know until I was older. So that would be fun, Julie. I mean, I'm sure it had its non-perks too, but you know, it would be hard to work at Joann's though and not want all the things, because you'd see all the new fabric coming in all the time and you'd be like, I want that and that and that and that. Okay, so these are the headbands I'm making. I know you guys have probably seen them on my Etsy store. So just measuring something here because I wasn't believing my writing, and I was like, no, it's true. I was like, is it really? Yeah, my sister had a horse when I was growing up. I remember being on that horse from the time I was really little. That was fun. And then my cousin's horses, oh, we'd take off on them for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. I mean, I remember as a kid, we'd get off and I couldn't walk well the next day because I was so stiff. Do you imagine as a kid how long you had to be like on a horse to still be like stiff the next day. And I mean, I'm talking, I was single digit kid, you know? And they do kind of ask you even now at Joann's, like when you buy something, oh, what are you making? And some days it's, you know, an easy answer. And other days I'm like, oh, you are just going to look at me and think I'm weird because, you know, what you're buying, they're not thinking that's what, you know, they're thinking you're going to tell them this and you're going to tell them this and they're not going to know what to do with what you just told them, you know. I've had that happen quite a bit. And they're just like, and then they start talking about something else. It's so funny. And I always know it's everything I can do not to laugh because I know when I go to answer them, the response I'm going to get, and I'm just like, okay, I'm waiting. 3, 2, 1. There it is. Okay, Joanne, so you're in El Paso. Sorry, I almost missed that. That's a little ways away. Yeah, from where I'm at. I work and worked with some people from El Paso. One of the guys that's still at my office, that's where he was from. And then his buddy that worked at the office up until recently was from there as well. Oh, thanks, Pia. Married. Well, you know, you just put your husband on his games and they all of a sudden become just oblivious to what you're saying. So you could just chat away to him about crafts and he'll be going, that's good, honey, and not even know what you're saying. Oh, wow. Seriously, Mia. Yay. How exciting. Okay, so Mia, I looked real quick. I don't know if you heard me, but I looked this up on Amazon. It looks like just at this very second, they only have black available. So if it doesn't matter, if black doesn't matter, but it was unbelievable. It was $12.99 for 50 yards, and this is 3/4 inch, and that's prime. So they've got several different size widths, I guess. So yeah, you just need to get on and look. They've got different sizes and different lengths. So you can get, 15 yards up to 50 yards, 25 yards, that kind of thing. And you can get, looks like 5/8 inch, 3/4 inch, 1 inch, 1.5, and 2 inch wide. So, but yeah, they do have it. Yeah, so if you need black, go grab it. That's super cheap. I was going to say, I didn't remember it being that expensive. Oh, Shirley, are you leaving? Okay, thanks, Shirley. Bye. Have a good evening. Yeah, when it's encased, Mia, it doesn't matter. Nope. I just bought the white because I never know sometimes, but yeah, I'd buy black if because it's encased. As long as you're just not putting it behind white or off white, I think you're going to be fine. And even then, it may not show through, to tell you the truth. It just depends upon how thin or thick your fabric is. Hey, Narrow. Hey, hey. So Spotted Bear Knits, you missed our conversation earlier, possibly. I have a second shop as well where I dye yarn and fiber. And we were talking about all of that earlier and how that kind of all happened and everything. Oh, Mia, you'll take lime green for that price. Hey, Nara, my weekend, it was really good, actually. If you consider doing work on your house, good, but I had my list. Oh my gosh, this list is just getting longer and longer, as you know, those of you that own houses. But it's not like it's hard stuff. It's just, I've got to stain all the things. And I should have did it last year. And this year is that I have to do it. I cannot keep putting this off. So I started staining my deck down here because it's in the direct sun. And it really, I've got to do it or it's going to start falling apart probably starting next year. And I do not want that because it's in beautiful shape right now. So I got most of it done this weekend. I still have, I got the parts that really matter, the horizontal. I've still got the verticals to do. And then I do need to do a second coat on it, which will go a lot faster. But the first coat, at least for me, I knew it was super dry. And the stuff I had put on it a couple of years ago is completely gone. So I knew it was just going to soak that first coat up, which is what I wanted it to do. So I had to take my time and just really let it soak in. And so I had to put quite a bit on. So what I'm saying is it goes slower. So I got a lot of that done this weekend. Yes. And so I just kind of feel like I got one more thing checked off my list. And I still, I've got some things to do. I'll finish it up. Then I've got to go up to the deck upstairs and work on that one and then work on my stairs out here. It never ends. And then I've got to start painting the inside and the outside of the house. It's just all that upkeep. So it's just going to be an ongoing thing from here on out. And I know once I get done with that list, I'm going to start all over again, but that's okay. It's good. I just finally feel like I'm getting somewhere. Finally. It's okay, Sarah. Yeah, it'll be fine. You'll be fine. Yeah, it's not like it's going to take up a lot of real estate on that quilt, so it's not a big deal. You'll be all right. Oh, I know. Narrow, you're missing. Oh, and you don't have cable. Oh, but yeah, Mia, that's exciting that she's a finalist. So exciting. Oh, you know what? You might be able to get Telemundo on the internet, especially if it's the Miss Universe. You might be able to get that. I started a sale this month, Narrow. So I started it last night. I'm not pushing this month. So you guys can't gauge against me this month. I'm holding back for a reason because of my day job. We're finishing up a project this month. It should be done at it's really hard to explain. We're done at the end of May, but we're not done at the end of May. So, but this time can be where I'm either okay and my life just keeps going on the way it was, or all of a sudden my project manager's like, I need you on site full time for the next 2 weeks. No questions asked. And so I have to go be on site for 2 weeks if he says that, or 3 weeks, or whatever. And so I can't let my shop blow up right now, because if that is the reality, then I'm living in a hotel for 14 days and I'm not at home. So once I get through that, So I ran a sale, but I can control that because I'm really close to being the end of May, and he hasn't even forewarned me. And I don't think I'm going to have to do that because we got so many people on site. It's just one of those things where if it comes up at the last second, because all of a sudden they empty the site because they've got to send everybody else to another site, I could end up having to be there. But now I'm getting to the point where I know it's not going to be for a really long time. If I end up having to be there, it might be a week or 5 days or something. I'm at the point now where I can drag my sewing machine with me if I really, really need to, and do it in the hotel in the evenings. So I'm finally starting to feel a little better, but I'm still just holding back. And so I ran a sale, started it yesterday. I kind of advertised it lightly this morning on Instagram and Facebook. I haven't blasted it. So I figure I'm running it through, I think, June 1. So as I get closer to Memorial Weekend and I start feeling way more comfortable with what's going on, then I'll probably just start blasting it everywhere. And then if I want to extend it, I can extend it another week or two. Long story short on how my shop's doing this month. Sorry. Hey, Elia. Hey, hey. So those of you that came in late and missed my announcement earlier, I didn't realize I looked at my studio when I went to open this just to check on something. I'm at 400 people. I'm at 400 this weekend. I hit 400. So thank you all. I don't watch that very closely, and I'm so excited. I couldn't believe it. Got a little ways to go yet to get to the 1,000, but I didn't ever think 400 would happen. So this is exciting. Thanks, Anna. Thanks, Pia. Yeah, it was a nice little surprise. Oh, thanks, Mia. Huh, find out why. Find out why, Nero, because I've read some people had said that was happening to them and they don't know why. And then they would, like a couple weeks later, Etsy would open their shops again and not say why. When it's somebody I don't know, I kind of have to wonder, did they do something and they just didn't realize it? But you probably know, especially when they close both. So yeah, keep us in the loop on that, Nero, because I have been hearing some of that a little bit. And I do have a website. I just need to, I've got morningsideroadfiber.com, and then I put Scandeez in there under one of the tabs so I don't have to rent two. And I need to just really make sure I start giving that some love again. It takes a long time. And I spent a lot of time setting it up. Now I need to go massage it a little more because I keep hearing this and I'm like, I've been on Etsy since 07. So if they mess with me like that, I'm not going to be happy. And yeah. Thanks, Nero. Thanks, Yumira. Yeah, and that's it. When your IP address, they're targeting your IP address. Yes. Yeah, that is just odd. I wonder, and they may never tell you why. Ever since they went public, it's been a whole different platform. And I know it's because they're public, but yeah, it's a whole different atmosphere. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so I've always known with Etsy ever since I first started that, you know, they own everything and they can do whatever they want. So I haven't really liked that, but I've dealt with it. But now I've just really got to make sure I just get my website. It's there. It's been up. I love it. I've got it on Squarespace. Love it, love it. I love their platform. I love the templates. I just really need to buckle down now and make it happen more and start transitioning people a little bit more. And there's ways to do that. So, yeah. No, you could have multiple shops, Mira. It's just if they shut one down, they're going to shut them all down because of your IP address. I've got 2. Some people have 3. You know, it just, you can do it. That's not why she got shut down. It's, who knows? I don't know if, were you even maybe selling anything, like licensed anything? Like, did you have fabric that was licensed even, that was on stuff that wasn't a licensed thing, but yet, like, you know, like I'm saying, the Mickey Mouse fabric that you were using for like a number 2 or whatever, that can do it as well. Yeah, that would be good, Nero. You'd have a lot of people following you on that because there's a lot of people that are curious about those things. Absolutely. Yeah, that'd be really good. Yeah, there you go. Poke the bear. And you do know that you can do Facebook Lives. That's what I do for a fiber show. That's every month. I'm not in it every month because you have to apply every month, and they don't let the same people be in it month to month to month. So you know they, you know, hey Amber, hey. So they will rotate out, and I can never guess. You know, I might do it a couple months in a row, and then not for a couple of months. Well, I've kind of laid low since I've been traveling and everything. I did one in January, but if you advertise and do a Facebook Live, you can sell on Facebook Live. And it's actually pretty easy. You just got to make sure you get an audience, and you can boost everything, all that. So I was thinking I might try that even just for my yarn again, if I don't want to go and do the fiber show. Not that, the fiber show is bad, because they bring in worldwide, and it really is decent. It's really, really good. So I want to do the fiber show, but if it ends up being that I can't commit by the time I need to commit for that month, and there's a lot of things that have to go into when you apply, because they've been doing this for just a little over a year. They brought it about because of COVID, and they're really doing a fabulous job. So the requirements of what they want you to do to be able to get accepted are starting to become a little bit higher than what they used to be, and that's fine. I have no problem with it, but I'm like, oh, I got to go do X, Y, and Z now for the next month or two before I apply, so that they see I'm still doing that, So that's part of why I haven't done it for a little while as well, because now I'm seeing the rules are changing just a tiny bit. They were asking us to do certain things. Now they are making you, your application be dependent on it instead of just a suggestion. So I was like, well, that's all cool. I knew that was coming, but I just haven't been very good at it. So I need to do that now. But yeah, you can boost your Facebook event and put it out there, for $20 or whatever. And you just keep promoting and promoting and promoting. So I'm going to try that and see, because I've already kind of got a following for that for my fiber. So I was like, I might try and do that. Amber, I'm finally doing the rest of those drill bib bandanas that I did so long. I had a bunch of fabric that I just had to use up, and it was just bits and bobs, not enough to really make anything where you do a custom order off of and then make it after they order it. So I'm doing that, and then I'm making hair bows. Those hair bows that you probably saw with my sunsuits when I listed. So those. So I'm making a bunch of those also out of the bits and bobs. I've got a lot of bits and bobs, a lot of fabrics. So I'm trying to just use it all up. Yeah, you can't have the same item in both shops, Joanna. You are very correct. Etsy does not like that. Thanks, Stacy. I don't remember the last time I did this being this difficult. So I did something different. I know I did. Can't remember what I did. Cannot remember what I did. Oh, I think I know what I did. I think I know what I did. Now I gotta remember how I did it, because it was super easy. I know what I did. All right, here's what I did, guys. So I'm gonna do it once, and then I'm pretty sure it works. I'll show you guys. In fact, I know it's going to work. Okay, so I've got this little piece of elastic, but I've also got this band that I have to turn. That's not very wide. Pain in the butt, right? Real pain in the butt. Well, this elastic has to go through there anyways. So I'm going to take the elastic, I'm going to put the safety pin, like I've showed you guys how to run. How many times? Put that in there. Close it. Drop it in there. Yes, it's the wrong side. Drop it in there. Just kind of work it in. until it gets to the very end. Sew it shut. And of course, last time when you guys weren't watching, it went like butter. And you just pull it through. Of course, this time it's not going to go like butter. Why would it? Because you guys are watching. I think it's because I pulled it through too hard. I shouldn't have pulled it so hard. Of course, now it's not going to work. It's going to make me a liar. It worked before. Oh, it twisted. That's why. All right, it twisted. The elastic twisted just a little bit. Okay. Yeah, you gotta work it through slowly. You can't pull it as hard like I did. There. Yeah. Now, real fast, and then you can iron it. And then I just cut the end off. So you just kind of have to account for it. But I've got to use this, and it's got to go through there anyway. So it doesn't really matter. But yeah, you just got to cut the end off just a little bit and then put it back in the way it was supposed to. Night, Sam. Yeah, you got to work it through slow. You can't pull it as fast as I did. So it got all bunched up. So technically what I would do is I'd cut my elastic just a little bit longer and have like 1/8 of an inch waist and just cut it off instead of having to trim this, but I've already pre-cut it to the right size, so no big deal. Still less time than having to try and thread that thing in there. And then you just put it through the right way. Yeah, it is, Sandy, it is. But it went faster on the other one, I know it did. So I think what I actually did was I had serged the elastic inside of it, and it was so much easier. I know I had a really slick way I did it before, but this way works too. So Amber, what are you working on tonight? Oh, that's okay. It's all right, Divya. Everybody just kind of comes and goes as they need to. It's all good. Yeah. Which one? Oh, if you want to go live, yeah, let me know. And then I can pop off and you can go live. We're just hanging out and it's been 2.5 hours. So let me know if you want to go live. It's all good. Yeah. Yeah, she's got so many new toys. Oh, you want to watch me for a while? Okay. I'm just saying if you had plans, let me know because I will definitely pop off and let you have the show. It's all good. Okay. Cool. So I think it's kind of cool. We were talking about the serger, Amber, how I was telling you to get the Juki and how it sews through everything. I'm curious, how is that? How is the MO1000 working for you? It should be the workhorse. Should be the workhorse that mine is. And I remember looking at that one when I went to buy this one. I just didn't want to spend that kind of money at that time. And I also didn't need one that self-threaded. And I was like, oh, I want something that just does it. I don't want to have to worry about, oh no, I screwed it up, because it was my first one. So yeah, mine sews through anything I give it. Anything. I love it. I just love it so much. It's crazy. I don't know why this elastic is twisting on me on this one. It's driving me insane. Oh, Mary, I get it. Okay, Yamira, thanks for coming by. I really enjoyed having you here. Awesome. I can't wait. I subscribed to your channel, Yamira, so I'm ready. I'm ready. Bring it on. Hey, Corinne. I know. And then they send you a baby lock on top of it. Wow. How cool. How cool. Love it. Man, this thing just twisted on me. This is not my night for this. I'm not working on that one anymore. That one's just not, I think it's because you guys are sitting here watching me too. I'll do it when you're not watching me and I'll just pop them all out real fast. I'm going back to these guys. Yeah, see, and it's a baby lock. Yep. Oh, good night, Stacy. Yeah, and the weirdest thing, Amber, is this serger, this Juki that I've got, I've never once had it break down on me. I've never once had to take it in for anything. And I've had this 6 years, maybe? Yeah, probably about 6 years. And I've used this thing. I've gotten my money's worth out of it a long time ago. And it still just goes. Yeah, that's exactly where that thing's going, Barbara. It's in the Project Naughty corner for right now. It just is. I'm not going to fight it no more. I can work on them tomorrow when I'm sitting on some calls and I can have my hands down where they can't see me. I know, Mary, adulting. Adulting's no fun. No fun at all. Yeah, it's a little harder to run surgery when I'm on a call. So it's probably best I do this tonight. Oh, Carolyn, thanks for coming. I hope you come back again. We enjoyed having you. Yeah, if you need to go, that's totally understandable. Oh, Divya, are you leaving? Oh, no. Okay, I missed something there. Oh, no. Then you've got to make a decision, Amber. Oh, my gosh. Oh. Mia. Oh, what a sweetie. That's so funny. Oh, good night, Sandy. How long do you have, Amber, before you have to make up your mind on which one? Oh, as long as you need. Okay, that's good. Because, after a while, you probably will be able to decide. It's just if you have to decide too early. Yep, that's all you can do, Amber. Try and put them through their paces until one of them makes you make a decision, And sadly to say, I don't know that one of them's going to make you make the decision. I think you're just going to end up having to decide because I think they're both awesome. So it's going to be tough. Oh, Mia. Oh, so cute. I would think, Amber, if something happened, that you probably just send it back to them and they fix it. I would think that would that would make some sense to me, that that's the way it would be handled. Night, Mary. Sorry, I was digging a pin out of my machine there. Oh, of course they have Mia. Yeah, mom's there. That's where they want to be. And I have to say, if you guys go to Walmart, and if your Walmarts have the, and I know it's a lesser quality of the Minky, it's rolled up for like in a yard and a half, and you buy it and it's already prepackaged. This stuff is really soft for these bibs, and it's thinner, which is nice for the bibs because you don't want them to get really too bulky, and it's so soft. It is just incredible. Every time I buy it, I always think, oh, it was just that one I bought. This next one's not going to be as nice. And it still is. So I'm like, oh, I'm in love with that stuff for the bibs. I know people keep asking me that, Nero. It depends. Sometimes I stand, sometimes I sit. I'm just short enough that sometimes sitting, I end up sewing more what I feel like this rather than here. And I know it's not that bad, but it feels that way. So I tend to, since I've got this table, I tend to set my sewing machines either on this table, or I've got my drafting table over there, or that cabinet. And so they're higher. And then I'll perch on a chair at times too. And that helps me a lot. My back bothers me just enough at times, and then I've got bad shoulders. So between the two, it's like, yeah, I can't win. So yeah, I stand a lot. I've got those play mats that you can buy for the kids that you put together kind of like a Lego. They've got it goes like this. that you can buy. And I've got those that I set on the floor too, because this is a concrete floor. So I'll stand on those mats. So yeah. Oh, Elia, awesome. What'd you get? Yeah, and actually, Angela, mine's the other way around. The sitting kills my back more than the standing. Uh-oh, I missed it. White on white, and sometimes you can't tell that you missed a spot. Oh, wow. I totally missed a spot. Oh, brother, awesome. So now you're just stalking the Amazon site. When's it being delivered? When's it being delivered? Awesome Wednesday, but that still seems like forever, doesn't it? Gabby is still finishing her kitchen. She's been so busy, so busy. So yeah, I haven't talked to her in probably about a week. So I need to touch base and make sure she's still hanging in there. But yeah, she's had some orders locally also that she's been busy with. So yeah, she's kind of still trying to recover from the freeze, believe it or not, because that put their entire house into a repair state. So they're slowly, they should be pretty well almost done, I think, with their kitchen now. No, Gabby is not Aqua Bloom, that's Zoa. Gabby was doing a lot of the Tuesday night teachings with me and Amber. And so hopefully she'll be back doing that with us fairly soon. That she has to get through what's going on right now with her house and her mom's house, which is right next door. Yeah, she's just been so busy because she's got her kids and then she helps her mom with her siblings. So yeah, she's got a lot on her plate. A lot. And I know she misses you guys desperately. I know she does. She tells me that. Yep, Best of Both Worlds Co. Don't forget the co, because there is a difference. There is a best of both worlds out there, and that's not her. Hey, buddy. Oh, you're going to love that, Adriana. You are so going to love that. Mary just left. She just got that not too long ago. But Genomes are amazing. You're going to love it. I love my Genome. I've had my Genome for 20 years. It is so good. They are powerhouses. It's an underrated brand that a lot of people don't talk about, but oh, they're good. They are so good. And don't be scared. Jump in with both feet. You'll never look back. Oh, Amber, you missed it. I was telling everybody, I think hopefully 2 more weeks and I'll be able to be on your lives now too. I'll be able to watch. I can't wait. I think I might only be traveling 2 more weeks. I haven't heard for certain. I'm just kind of guessing right now, but I can't wait. I am ready to have my weeks back. Yep, that is the machine Mary has. Absolutely. Yep, you were right, Dawn. She just got that not too long ago, a couple months ago, I think. Yeah, I'm scared to say anything, Amber, because I'm afraid I'm going to jinx myself, and then it's going to end up being longer. But I'm so tired of driving to Dallas. I love going to see Cindy. And I told Cindy that, I said, you're my bright spot right now when I come, because I don't want to drive anymore. I am so over this. It's getting to be, I feel like every week, almost every day is Tuesday now. It goes by so fast, and it's like, and I'm back at Tuesday morning, and it's now 4 o'clock again, and here we go, out the door and on my way to Dallas again. It just feels like I don't have any time in between, even though I do. Oh, yes, that's right. Amber has a Genome. She loves it too. Yeah, Genomes are amazing. They definitely stand the test of time. Yeah, I'm so overdriving. So overdriving. It is a solid 4.5 hours, sometimes 5, depending upon traffic, one way. And I get up and I do it Tuesday morning, then I come back late Wednesday. So I usually get home about 9 o'clock Wednesday night. And yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. They embroider so beautifully. It just blows my mind. And even my 20-year-old machine, there's days I think it does better than my brother. It's really sad that I think that stitch quality some days is better. You know, Dawn, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. Since I work from home the rest of the week, that makes all the difference in the world. If I had to get up and go into the office on Monday and Thursday, it would be brutal because I'd be up at 4 o'clock every morning to get to the office too. So there would be no recovery time. And that's where it would be really tough. And I've lived those days for too long. I was always having to travel a lot and still working out of the office and driving. I mean, my drive to the office, if I were to go in, is anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour and 20 one way, just depending upon traffic and accidents and stuff. So it's a blessing that I'm working from home. They get a lot more out of me too because I can now spend that time that I would have been driving working, which is nice because just all around it's just nice. I'm very, very fortunate that I got to have that option. And I never thought in a million years I would get that option at my job. I just seriously thought this is never going to happen, and it did. COVID was a blessing for me in that sense. And then we grew like crazy and we don't have any room, and that we'd still have to hire. So, you know, there's not a lot of us working from home, but there is a handful of us. And most people wanted to go back into the office, and I was one of the few that didn't. for all those reasons. No, you don't get a gas allowance. I mean, when I drive to Dallas, yes, I do. I do. I get paid by the mile. But to drive in daily that far, no. No. So yeah, that's the only other thing I'm gonna miss about going to Dallas is that extra money I was getting every week. Because it doesn't pay for gas. They pay the IRS mileage. So I get, however much the IRS pays mile times however far I'm driving. And I could rent a car if I wanted to, but I don't make the money. You look at the final end and you make more money if you drive your own car. I love this fabric, these little guys. And it's one of those where you can't just use it on anything, but these little bibs, oh my gosh, they're perfect for this. Oh yeah, I do, Angela. Yeah, no, I get mileage. I wouldn't be driving if I didn't. I'd be flying. So, but it would take me just as long to fly, if not longer, because it's one of those up and down flights. But by the time you drive to the airport, park, get in, check in, get through security, get on, that whole thing, you've lost 4 to 5 hours. So I'm gonna pocket the money. And it'd be cheap. It's cheaper actually for me to drive than to fly and rent a car too. So that saves the job some money. Oh, that's right. You do, Don. I forgot about that. Now that you say that, I remember. You do. That's right. That's right. Oh, yes, that's right. You have talked about that. Man, I forget these things. Well, I did the dinosaur one finally right. You probably can't see it backwards, but I'll see if you can. See? Remember the one I did for the sew along was all screwed up and it was upside down? So I made sure that my upside down ones didn't land right in the middle. And that was hard. That took a long time because they happened sooner than I thought, you know, because as I was laying that out, I was like, wow, no wonder this happened, because I'm really having to think about how this is going to be laid out. Which one's your favorite then, Dawn? Hey, Barbara, thanks for stopping. Thank you. Thank you for coming by. Have a good week. Yeah, I'm going to have to hop off soon myself and then let Amber take over. Because as everybody's saying, tomorrow's work day. Yeah, and Mondays are crazy for me because I've got meetings and I'm packing and trying to get everything done. And it seems like everything falls on a Monday. And then by the time I get to bed, it's late. I'm exhausted. And late for me is like 9 o'clock because I should be in bed way before that. And I just fall into bed sometimes. So, yeah. Yeah, Amber, when I hop off, are you just going to go live? Because you're probably going to get a lot of these girls. They'll probably just come on over. Is that what you're thinking? Oh, narrow. Yeah, don't. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah, you just never know if you're going to be feeling icky or if it's going to be okay. Okay, about 45 minutes, Adriana. So I don't know what time zone you're in, but yeah, just figure about 45 minutes from now. And she'll probably just hop on and go. So, but yeah, I'm probably going to have to bug out myself, guys. I don't want to, but I've got to get some things done before I can go to bed and get up tomorrow morning and hit the ground running. And then it's going to be Thursday before I know it. Oof. It goes so fast. So fast. That's the other thing I don't like about this is my weeks go way too fast. Yeah, just stay hydrated, guys. Hydrate for days ahead of time, too. That really does help. It really, really does help. Yeah, that's cool, Angela. Go look at it, definitely. I wish we could see that. That'd be so cool. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and head out now. It was fun hanging out with you guys. This was fun. Nice end to my weekend again, and we will. I'm not going to be able to hop on Amber's live tonight. I wished I could, but I need to go to bed and get ready. So I will see you guys next Sunday for sure. I've got the boy swimsuit, which is actually kind of a girl's boy swimsuit, doesn't swim shorts. So be watching for that posting. I'm going to start posting on my Facebook for the description as well. So be looking for that. Okay, guys, thanks for joining me, and I will see you guys all really soon. Love you all. Bye.